Hello, everybody. Welcome to our author story time with Tiffany J. I'm so excited for tonight. Not only will we get an opportunity to interview her, but also hear her book live, along with be able to pose any questions that you may put in the chat. So as you are coming in, please share the stream, share this live so that you can be able to join us. And we do this on Friday nights because as families are coming in, there's an opportunity for you and your children to be able to enjoy live reading, but also you can pose questions to our guests. We're going to talk about her background, what inspired her book, and again, like I said, here a live reading. So those who are here, I see people coming in, say hello. As comments come in, we are definitely able to pose them and be able to show them as well. So we're going to jump right into our introduction, and I'm going to let you do it, Tiffany. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, and then we'll get into the interview.
Okay, well, I am Tiffany J. I am an inspirational personality, an entrepreneur, an author, musical artist. And my mantra is that nobody can do me better than me. So I take just about everything that I do in life to inspire people to go after what their individual purpose is. I believe that we are all here for a special, different, and unique reason. But sometimes we don't understand that our differences is what gives us power.
Yep.
So I'm just a country girl from South Carolina who loves to inspire people, who loves the youth, who loves kids, who loves the arts. And yeah, I'm glad to be here today.
Yes, yes. So let's jump right into our first question. I see people saying, hey, Tammy. She said, hello, ladies. We're going to jump into the beginning as to what got you into writing. Like, what made you say, and we'll get to your other arts because you definitely are very talented, but what got you into writing?
So, writing books, my very first book was not a children's book. It was a 152 page self help book that was called It All Starts With Me, an interactive guide to discovering self and loving it. I never had a goal to be an author. I released that book in 2017, but I never had a goal to be an author. It was something that just kind of came about as a next step for me. My history of writing started with poetry and songwriting. Uh, but since I wrote the first book, I'm a mentee and I have an organization called the Beauty You Are Boot Camp.
Mm,
And I realized that my first book would surpass the reading level of my mentees.
gotcha.
So I had the idea to do a children's book series, which led me to create the character Super Beauty. And we have a book series about her character. And I found a lot of joy and a lot of inspiration with going in that realm. So I have been a children's book author since 2017, since 2018. 2018.
So can you please talk a little bit more about your organization? So what's the age range and all of that? Uh,
Okay, so my Beauty You Are boot camp, which is uh, annual summer camp geared toward girls ages 6 through 17. We meet in the summertime and we basically encourage them with boosting their self-esteem and their confidence levels. Just letting them know that, they're fearfully and wonderfully made just how they are. So we go through different things each year. This will be my eighth year of existence this year coming. So we've been doing it for a long time, but I try to make sure each annual camp is different because I have some girls that come every single year, and I never want to be repetitive in the information and the encouragement we give.
that's awesome. So with the camp, with the organization, it seems like a very common theme. So what are the inspirations behind the stories? Like what made you feel like, man, I need to create this organization? What made you want to create Super Beauty? Like, is it a personal connection to it or more so as you're working with the youth, the things that you see that they need to hear?
Well, definitely a personal connection. So, my Super Beauty Incorporated business is separate from my Beauty You Are boot camp. However, at 12, I attempted to commit suicide. And my personal journey from that moment of understanding that my desired ending became my beginning for life helped
Mm,
me shape everything that I currently do. So I have a strong passion for girls and them building their self-esteem and learning how to love themselves because I wasn't that girl. I
yeah.
didn't have anybody telling me or instilling in me the importance of self-love. So it's definitely a personal connection. I dealt with depression and low self-esteem pretty much all of my teenagehood, early adulthood. So just me overcoming and understanding now that I'm pretty dope, I'm fly, uh I'm just me, and I love that. Knowing who I was before and knowing who I am now, I want girls to have the opportunity to tap into their power a lot earlier than I had the opportunity to.
And I love it because I think so many times when we work from a place of experience and
Mhm.
also when we're able to really be able to empathize, because I believe that those topics as far as beauty and depression and those are very sensitive topics, you know what I
They
mean? And
are.
it's very easy to tell somebody like you're pretty, like get over it. You know, why are you struggling with that? Like nothing's wrong with you. And so I think it's very important that you are using your testimony, right? To be
Right,
able
right.
to encourage them to see that there is another side to it. There's
Definitely.
another side to overcoming. So when you embarked on writing this children's book, you're like, okay, I gotta have this book for my mentees. Was it difficult? Because I know writing for adults and writing for like youth young adult authors is very different than children's books. Like I talked to
That is
quite a
true.
few different children authors. They like the illustrations, the wording, like so was it difficult completing this children's book?
So the children's book or books are easier for me to write than adult books.
Mm,
Reason being, I take a rhyme approach when I write my children's books, and because I'm a songwriter, I'm accustomed to having things rhyme.
yeah.
So there's rhythmic pattern in the way that the words are written. Because I'm a graphic designer, I'm not an illustrator, but because I have the graphic design skill, I've illustrated all of my books.
Mm,
So I was able to both write it and illustrate it,
oh, that's
and
wonderful.
it kind of just stayed within me. So it was easy for me to tell the story because I knew what I wanted to say. However, a lot of times when I sit down to write a super beauty book, I know what I want the beginning to be and I know how I want it to end, but I never know what's in the middle until I sit down and start writing. So children's books are pretty cool to write. I think they're easier though than adult books. And I think it's just because they're longer.
Yeah, but I also think that it's an art to children's books because
Oh
you
yeah.
have to think about first of all the certain range that you're trying to talk to, right? And so if I'm talking to early readers versus like elementary, like okay, what is the wording? Like I think the rhyme pattern definitely works. And what I've encountered with talking to authors, the illustration part is the most difficult part
Oh yeah.
because a lot of times with illustrating, they are using someone outside of themselves, right? So I wrote the story, but in my head, this is what they look like. And then when they show you the picture, you're like, that's not what they look like. But you gotta have that communication of how that works. And so even in the chat, they're like, what? You a illustrator and author is like that is dope. You know what I mean? Because that's a barrier that many people have to, what I'm saying, still have to work through. So with
Please, I know.
So even with the research, because I think it's a creative research process and it's the actual like execution, publishing, marketing, all of that good stuff. So what did you learn? I mean, I think the cool thing is, and even as you're talking, all of your arts are like intertwined, right? So because
They
you
are.
songwriting, it helps when it comes to writing. I'm sure it also helps when it comes to marketing because you got to think about how you market maybe your shows or other things that you do. So what though was kind of like the research creative process for those who are listening who want to get into it that really helped you in this journey?
So in regards to me creating the children's book series, I knew that if I had a children's book, I wanted a traveling mascot. I just knew I had to be that
Mm,
author with the mascot. So before I launched the brand, I shot for a mascot, got my character created. I didn't intend to illustrate Super Beauty. That was not my goal. I wanted a teenager. I wanted a teenager to actually be the illustrator, but things weren't working. So I ended up creating the character. And then I went on to create the book. But it was just so amazing to see this creation I made become a huge mascot. And as I was shopping for a mascot, a company sent me an email just like turn your character into a plush doll. And I didn't have the idea for a doll prior to that. So I kind of researched
Why
authors.
not?
Yeah, I researched authors, and I did see that a lot of authors have plush dolls of their characters. But being me, I always have to have something innovative and different about everything that I do. So I was like, how can I make my doll different? So my dolls, both of them, this is Handsome Hero, this is her twin brother, but both of my dolls talk. They're called pep talkers. So this is the Super Beauty pep talker. This is the Handsome Hero pep talker, and they both say over 20 phrases that boost self-esteem when you squeeze
Oh,
them.
that's amazing.
So I wanted to make sure the message was the most powerful piece of everything I put out. So I started seeing how music I already created could go along with the doll and the books, and had a soundtrack and creating a music video with the mascot in it. So it was just really expanding my own personal brand, Tiffany J. I'm saying that this is another lane that I'm taking, but understand my story is attached to it. The reason why I do this is because I overcame it, so I want to help other kids. So naturally, well, not naturally, I've been an entrepreneur, a full-time entrepreneur for over 12 years. So I have a lot of business sense and a lot of business knowledge. So when it came to me writing books, it wasn't something I had to learn from scratch as far as marketing and how to implement things. And I had started helping people release their own books before I was even an author. So helping people publish books, no clue that I was going to be in the same lane, but a lot of the steps and things I needed to take, I had already had knowledge of. So it's just really been fun. Honestly, it's just been fun.
Well, we have people who are like, this is nice, this is so dope. Tammy's like, she would love to connect with you to explore illustration options. I don't know if you illustrate for others, but she's in there
We
talking
can
about
talk.
y'all can talk to Tammy. Maybe you could, convince her. I don't know, but that's awesome. That's really, really great. So let's go to the title. Super Beauty
Okay.
Saves the Day. So what was the inspiration, the feel behind this book title?
So this was our first book in the series. And I wanted to introduce the character because Super Beauty is a superhero. And traditionally, when you have books about superheroes or you just hear about superheroes, they're coming to save the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wanted to keep with something that was traditional, but at the same time, an introduction to who she was. And the more you get into the book, you'll understand it's not that she's disappearing in thin air or she's doing this and that. Her superpowers are to diminish the influence of bullies and boost the self-esteem and confidence in her peers. So I just wanted something traditional when it came time to come up with the title, something easy for kids to remember, um, and something that was going to serve as an introduction to who Super Beauty is.
I love it. So as always with our author story times, we're gonna have a live reading. So we will be able to actually hear about how Super Beauty saved the day. Also, while she's reading, I will have underneath information how you can stay connected, and we'll talk about that more after she's done. When we return from the live reading, any questions you want to pose as an audience to Tiffany about the book, about her artistry, do that, and we will incorporate it with the rest of the interview. At this time, we are about to do a live reading. I will remove myself, so it's all you, Tiffany, and I'll
Okay.
come back as soon as you're done reading.
Okay. So here is Super Beauty Saves the Day, written and illustrated by Tiffany J. So here's a calendar, and it says it's January the 25th. Piles and piles of kids enter the doors of school with laughter, new clothes, and fresh kicks. It is time for part two of the current school year, but it seems as if it's all new because been a while since we've been here. Margaret C. Bolware Elementary School, McB is what we call it for short, is now home again for kids who are in need of their teacher support. Winter break is now over. It's time to get back to business. Homework is now about to take over our evenings with the quickness. I know you kids love homework, right? The hallways are empty. No student is in sight. The bell had just rang, so the kids took flight to their homeroom classes to catch up with their friends. Everyone is new. Everyone is old news here except for the girl who just entered in. I wonder if you can tell what the differences are on her eyes. She is short for a fifth grader. She barely looks 9. She has a fair skinned complexion and very unique eyes. One eye is green and the other is gray. It isn't easy to notice them because she wears glasses on her face. So there's a new girl that came and she has two different color eyes. One is green and one is gray. I'm pretty sure you know who that is. But your girl here is nosy. I look everyone up and down. Oh, wait, you don't know who I am, do you? Super beauty is what they call me around town. I consider myself to be an exceptional girl, every kid's bestie, and a superhero. In my dreams, I travel the world and diminish the power of bullies to zero. It's not cool to make fun of your peers. It really intimidates them. Why would you want to give someone fear? There's enough room for us all to shine here. Well, that's enough about me for now. Let's get back to the story about the new little girl in town and our great school, McPhee. She comes and takes a seat near the back of the class. Whispers are said not so quietly from the first student to the last. This made her even more uncomfortable being in a new place. Now here comes the teacher parading in front of her face. Now, this isn't a part of the literature. This is some math that I like to put in the middle of the book. So if you're home, I'm pretty sure you can solve these problems. So 2 plus 5 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 9 minus 6 is 3. So I wonder if you know who this is. And I wonder if you can just guess what her name is by looking at the picture. The teacher comes over and says, "Hello, young lady. I am Miss Thunderbird. And your name, I think I misread. So a little help from you won't hurt. Sunshine, you didn't read it wrong. People call me Sunny for short. It doesn't matter what you call me. I just hate when kids make joking about it a sport." Miss Thunderbird smiles and replies, "No worries, my darling. We're happy to have you, Sunshine. Let's get you caught up on the work we're starting." It is now time for lunch. Everyone headed to the cafe. Today, they are serving a special punch and even offers a buffet. Sunny walks in alone. She still seems a bit shy. She immediately sits at a table, the food line she passes by. Who do you think they are? Now here comes Rocky. I'm sorry. Now here comes bad news. It's Rocky and his twin sister Joy. They are very mean bullies. My nerves, they really annoy. "Hey, who are you?" screams Joy. "You're sitting at our table." Before Sunny could reply, Rocky pulls out a label. He sticks it on the table. and goes wild like he's unstable. Foolishness like this, I'm really unable to deal with these bullies. So your girl couldn't let this slide. Sunny is new around here. Why would they want to make her cry? So I walk up as calm as ever and pose to them a simple question. Why are y'all acting like this? Is bullying your new profession? Kids tend to be followers just to feel like they fit in because it wasn't too long ago when new kids was how we met the twins. When they came here, they were bullied too. I forgot to mention their skin differences. Kids called them pets from the zoo. So it's now time for me to introduce myself. Hey, Sonny, I'm Super Beauty. Let's go grab some fruit from the shelf. So, Super Beauty is being a friend or a buddy to Sunshine. We walk toward the cafe line and kids begin to stare. You know, I'm really extra. So, this is what I began to yell. Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Meet my new friend Sunny. Isn't she extra dope? She is really pretty and her jokes are really funny. Kids begin to shout, Hey, Sunny! Others would say, Welcome to McBee. Even the wannabe bullies now had a heart. They walk up and say, We're sorry. Rocky and Joy now wanted her to sit with them. They say they could make room at their table. Sunny isn't comfortable enough yet, so she says, Maybe later. Our lunch hour is now over. We all head back to the classroom. Miss Thunderbird asks, How was lunch? Sunshine killed all the gloom, one student decided to say. Sunny couldn't help but put a smile on her face. She then decides to open her mouth and say, No, it wasn't me. Super Beauty saved the day. Thank you, Super Beauty. I'm glad I came here. I've never had anyone defend me like you did. I really admire you. Will you be my friend? Maybe we can even go skating this weekend. Of course, I will be your friend. But if we're going to hang, we must put bullying to an end. That's the mission of my gang. Super Beauty Gang is what we call it. We allow room for anyone. My whole crew is always lit. We're forever having fun. You know what will boost your cool points? You should invite Joy and Rocky. That'll make you the bigger person. I then said to Sunny. So school is now over. Piles and piles of kids rush out of McBee. Here comes Rocky and Joy, but giving compliments surprisingly. Hey, Sonny, I think your glasses are cool, but not as cool as your eyes, says Joy. For the first time ever, Sonny wasn't ashamed and uses this moment to enjoy. Thank you. I think they're cool too. I'm glad I met you all today. This weekend I'm going skating. You should come to celebrate my birthday. Happy for the invitation. The twins quickly accepted. It was the very first time they'd been included and connected. So you see, we all can get along. Sometimes it just takes a middleman. Well, a super dope chick like me to save the day and lend a helping hand. Be a buddy, not a bully. The end. That was Super Beauty Saves the Day. Yay!
Awesome. Clap it up, you all, in the chat. That was so awesome. I loved it. I loved it. And I love, like you said, it was a twist to what her actual power was. Because a lot of times we think it's a power to change people, but it's changing them in a different way. So I love it. I love it. Wonderful message. So as you think about, even how you use like your experiences and your arts in this, what would be your advice for those who are like inspiring artists to just like go out there to whether it's writing a book. We haven't dived into your singing. I would love to talk. Let's pause there for a second. So, singing. How long have you been doing that?
So singing is pretty much my first love, the first art that I fell in love with. I've been on the church choir. Like most people, that's where I got my start. But as a professional independent artist, I was in a singing group, a gospel group called Eternal Voices for many years, and I branched off and went solo as Tiffany J in 2012.
Okay.
So um, that'll make, what is that? That'll make 9 years this year. So I have a lot of music out. I have tons of singles. I have an EP. I have 2 albums. And this coming week, I am actually releasing, or my birthday. My birthday is next Thursday.
Oh, happy early
I
birthday.
thank you. I am releasing a docu concert film. And it's called Soulbird Sessions, and it kind of just journeys with me about my songwriting process. It features 21 of my songs, whether they are being performed live with the band or just kind of talked about. But COVID really stripped away the opportunity, even with my super beauty business. I was so accustomed to going into schools and doing pep talks and live readings and taking my mask out, but COVID kind of stripped all of that away. As far as my music goes, it stripped away a lot of opportunities to perform live in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of quarantine doing live stream concerts, and this docu series really was a stem off of that. So I'm excited about this docu series. I'm sorry, not docu series, docu concert. I am actually having a drive-in movie premiere of it in my city Tuesday. So I'm super excited
Wow.
about music. Um, the last song I released, I'm all about Black people. The last song I released is titled "I Love You, Black Man," and I released that in 2020 after the George Floyd incident. So I'm a soul artist, singer songwriter. I absolutely love songwriting. If I had to choose between singing and songwriting, I would choose songwriting.
Mm.
Uh, so songwriting is really what I started writing songs at 14. And songwriting has been what has helped me get through things in life. So by the time they come out to the listener, I've already kind of overcome the situation, but it has been really good art and really good motivation and fuel for people to get inspired just to keep going.
I love it. So, especially, what's your advice for those who are wanting to be aspiring artists, whether that's in writing, singing,
Uh-huh.
performing arts? Like, I'm sure you went through many stages of this entrepreneurial journey. What would be
Yeah.
some nuggets of wisdom you want to give?
My first advice would be to find comfort in your individuality. A lot of times when you are an artist, and this can go for anything. There's art and there's design.
Mm.
Art doesn't necessarily have a right or wrong to it. Design or the technical aspect, there are logistics, there are some rules and regulations. You have to learn how to mesh the two.
Mm.
Because when I first started writing songs, I would have musicians tell me that my song shouldn't go this way. And it hindered a lot of, well, I won't say it hindered me, it was a lot of lessons learned. But you have to know what you create is good enough to be put out. So if you are aspiring to do something, it's okay to get a mentor, just to show you the ropes. Just keep perfecting your craft, but know that your art is created by you for a reason. So
Yeah.
you aren't here to imitate anybody else. You are here to deliver in a world, a sea full of fish. You are still supposed to stand out. So that's one thing I absolutely love about creating art, is that it's uniquely mine. At the same time, I always want to be in the runnings with people. I'm not a competitive person. I always say the only person I compete with is who I was yesterday, and I'm just trying to be better every day. But I love to be able to be recognized amongst,
Mm.
my peers.
Yeah.
So just if you're trying to do something art wise, understand that there is a craft to it, and you have to study to show yourself approved. You have to perfect that craft, but make sure you keep your sauce on it.
Yes, I love that. I love the separation of art and design because I believe that even what I'm learning, even in this nonprofit world, that I come with my passion, my desires, and things that I know. But in order to be successful in that, there's a business side, right? That
Right.
you have to learn. And I think that, but it's so important because sometimes we feel like learning also means, well, they're successful. Let me learn and do it the way they did it. And it's like, no, there are just some principles that you should just know, but you still
Right.
should be bringing your full authentic self. So I love that because that's so true. But it's hard, especially when I think what people don't like to talk about that it has its ebbs and flows. Like in business, like you're gonna have your ups and people loving you and
Yeah.
ooh, you it, let's collab, let's partner. Then you're gonna have times you like, why did I decide to do this again? Like
Right.
I am tired. I don't see the return, but it's not, it really has to
That
be.
part.
I think it's about really being like, this is something I'm meant to do.
Right.
A mentor, as you just said, one of my mentors, I had her on earlier this week, and she's just someone that, how you just have people you watch. They're not necessarily someone that mentors you, like y'all sit and get and talk, but like you just see their lifestyle and you just admire the way they move. And she's one of those women, and she said that there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea.
Okay.
And a lot of times when we have good ideas, it's easy when those ideas don't work to be like, oh, well, I just think of another idea. Like, you have people that just kind of let it go. But then there are certain things that you just feel called to do. And even in the ebbs and flow, you're like, you know what? It's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work, but it will work. And when you know that it's that type of idea, you got to be willing to ride the storms. And so,
right.
I just want to say congratulations already.
Oh, thank you.
12 years is a long time because I've seen, many people that just kind of let it go, right? It's a good idea. So I'm going to just let it go, though,
Thank you so much. I think when we know that we are willing to sacrifice what we're trying to do, then we know we are purposed to do it. When you're letting go the things that you enjoy, the things that make you happy, just to make something work, is probably aligning with your purpose.
I love it. I love it. So what is next? What do you desire next?
So we currently have 3 books in the Super Beauty series. I am looking to, and I've been saying this since we launched in 2018. COVID really just, COVID made me, it hurt me with my Super Beauty business. Um, like I said, I absolutely love going to schools, but I wanted to do a live show production. That was my 2020 plan, a live show production of the book I just read. So with actual characters acting it out. So hopefully we can get into live show production. We are branching out to get a handsome hero mascot so that we can show up more places with both characters because we do like birthday parties and as a singer, I do singlegrams, but we also have a Super Beauty singlegram for kids. Basically, she shows up and sings "Happy Birthday" and delivers a gift. It's kind of spin off of what I already do as a musical artist. But my goal since the beginning has been to create an animation series. So hopefully, that comes to life sooner than later.
Now that's awesome. That's so awesome. So you all, we are coming towards the close. However, we always close it out each month with depending on what's happening around that season or what's going on. So as you all know, it is Women's History Month, and we are shouting out queens. So people who we believe are impactful for us personally, whether from the past or present. And I would just love for you to just kind of highlight who for you have been like those influential women.
So I'll say 2 women. I'm gonna first say my mom. My mother, as a child, my mom was like the church singer. She sung almost every Sunday a solo. So people love to hear my mom sing. I think as a child, I admired so much how people would flock to her after service to say that they were blessed by what she rendered. And I think even though I have chosen to expand my genre, that is always my goal when I create music. I want people to be touched by it. So I was definitely inspired by my mom as far just in life, period. But that one thing is really a reason why I love to do music. Secondly, you talked about your mentor. My mentor is Grammy nominated living legend Angie Stone. Angie
Mm.
Stone and my mom grew up together in the
Oh
same
wow.
church. And she really feeds like just goodness and encouragement into me all the time. She always tells me she's proud of me. She's always supporting. Um, but as far as just life and career and being an entertainer goes, it's easy for me to see myself surpass my current level because I see her there. And we literally come from the same place. So um just her life and her lights is always an inspiration to me. So shouts out to Angie Stone.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. And I think what you just said is so important to have mentors because they allow you to see where you can go. You know what I mean? And like you
Yeah,
said, y'all have the same upbringing. I think that's so important for our kids. Going back to your mentoring, that they see someone who's been there and then they're able to look at you like, wait,
exactly.
you didn't suffer with this. Like, yes, I did. You know, and it's like,
Exactly.
wow. Even though I currently am not experiencing it, I know that I could get there. You know what I
Right.
mean? That is so awesome. Well, Tiffany, I have absolutely loved being able to talk with you. And
Awesome sauce.
have you ever been to Chicago?
I have never been to Chicago.
So I'm gonna need you to bring you and Super Beauty to Chicago.
Okay, we can
I'm
make that
serious. Like
happen.
once things open up, we do so many different like family events here in Chicago
Uh-huh.
with the organization, and I'm really just big about allowing kids to just see like the fullness of reading, and so it would be so dope for you and your mascots to come in. The kids will
Okay.
like lose their minds, and so I'm serious. I would really love for you to come to
Okay,
Chicago.
yeah, let's definitely stay connected.
Yes, 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 yes. So thank you. If you are watching this live, I appreciate you. People in the chat have definitely been encouraging and loving this. And if you are watching this later in the replay, as you see at the bottom, it's Tiffany's website where you can see more about all the things she shared this evening. We will definitely stay connected and promoting the things that you're doing. And thank you for giving us some time on your Friday night.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Take care, everybody. See you,
All
Tiff.
right.
All right.